My brother called me soft, so I became the only thing standing between him and death. Growing up, Russell never let me forget I was the weak one in the family. Every time I chose a book over basketball, every time I helped mom with groceries, every time I showed any emotion, he had something to say. Ryan's crying again because he stubbed his toe. Better call mommy to kiss it better. It was constant. Our parents would tell him to knock it off, but Russell would just smirk and whisper, "Mama's boy," when they turned away. When I was 17, everything changed. We were watching the news during dinner when a story came on about a teenager who drowned at the local beach. Mom grabbed Dad's hand, worry creasing her face. Thank God our beach vacation isn't until summer. Maybe we should skip it this year? Russell rolled his eyes. Just because Ryan can barely doggy paddle doesn't mean the rest of us should miss out. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about that kid who drowned. But more than that, I kept thinking about the lifeguard they interviewed, who said proper training could have saved him. I found the community center's lifeguard certification program online, free for residents under 18. Classes started at 5 a.m. on weekdays, with weekend intensive sessions. I signed up that night. I told my parents I joined the chess club that met before school. They were thrilled I was making friends with similar interests. Russell laughed so hard he nearly choked on his protein shake. The training was brutal. That first morning, jumping into the freezing pool at dawn, I wondered what I'd gotten myself into. The instructor, Anderson, was a former Navy rescue swimmer who didn't believe in going easy on anyone. "The ocean doesn't care if you're tired," he'd bark while making us tread water holding bricks above our heads. I threw up after the first class, but I went back the next day and the next. I studied rescue techniques on my phone during lunch at school, hiding in the library where Russell and his friends never went. CPR certification ate up my Saturdays. I told mom it was chess tournaments. The advanced open water rescue course cost money, so I got a job at the grocery store, telling everyone I was saving for a new gaming system. Russell mocked me. "Are you sure your noodle arms can handle carrying all those groceries?" 3 months in, I nearly quit. We were practicing carrying unconscious victims, and Anderson partnered me with the biggest guy in class. I couldn't get him to shore. "You're too small for this, kid," Anderson said. "Some people just aren't built for ocean rescues." That night, I stayed after everyone left, practicing the technique over and over until the janitor kicked me out. I convinced the largest kid in class to be my practice partner every evening for a month. We drilled for hours. I learned to use my legs as leverage, position victims differently. Anderson noticed my improvement and paired me with him for the final test. Our family's annual beach week finally arrived in July. Same rental house, same stretch of sand we'd been going to since I was 5. Russell brought his girlfriend Julia this year. He spent the first 2 days showing off. He dived off the rocks, swimming out past the buoys, mocking my sunscreen application. "SPF 100? What are you, a vampire?" Julia laughed. She always laughed. Day 3. The red flags were up, warning swimmers about dangerous conditions. The lifeguard had announced a strong riptide warning twice that morning. Russell insisted they were being overly cautious. "It's barely choppy. Ryan's just scared because he can barely swim." He grabbed Julia's hand. "Come on, babe. Let me show you the sandbar." Mom protested, but Russell was already jogging toward the water. I watched him swim out, showing off with powerful strokes. Then I saw it. The way he suddenly seemed to stop making progress. The way his movements became frantic. Riptide. He was trying to swim straight back to shore, fighting directly against it. Classic mistake. Julia started screaming when his head went under the second time. Everything went quiet in my mind. Muscle memory took over. I grabbed the rescue buoy from the lifeguard stand, sprinted down the beach to get parallel to Russell's position, entered the water at an angle, swimming perpendicular to the shore to avoid the current. Russell was barely conscious when I reached him. I secured him with the rescue hold Anderson had drilled into us 1,000 times, keeping his airway clear while using the current to help us move parallel until we escaped its grip. On the beach, I tilted his head, cleared his airway, and started rescue breathing. 5 breaths, check for pulse. He coughed up water on the 3rd cycle. I turned him on his side, monitoring his breathing. Russell woke up in the hospital 6 hours later. Mom was crying, Dad was pacing, and I was sitting in the corner, still in my sandy swim trunks. Russell looked at me for a long moment. Then, in a voice hoarse from the salt water, he said 4 words: "You saved my life." The next morning at breakfast, when I passed him the orange juice, he took it without a single comment about my skinny arms.